welcome back to another episode of ACS Today.
Today's theme is fairy tale to promote our very own ACS play Into the Woods. We have so much in store for you today. First off, we're going to get to know the cast, then we're going to be debunking fairy tales, and we have some hilarious fairy tale puns.
Be sure to come and support your peers by watching the play on November 8th and 9th in the auditorium.
Now let's get to know the cast of the play Into the Woods.
Something cool about the show. Well, we are a very close cast. We have a lot of fun together, both on stage and off stage. And I think one really special thing about this show is how close we've grown. Unlike shows in the past, this show had the opportunity to have a very large cast with a lot of people both in the cast and working outside of the cast. So crew, pit, lights, hair, tech in general. So I think something really special is sort of just our relationship with all of us and the antics we get up to backstage. Don't tell Darshan about that.
I like the opening scene the best because like when you get introduced to all the characters, so it's really fun to like play the character like the best I can so that everyone knows who I am. It's a pretty big time commitment, so managing that with also like all my IB work, it's probably the biggest complication I faced. I would say the first half is fairy tale based, and then it definitely turns into more like a dark drama.
It's a musical, and like any good musical, I don't think it's too tragic, but I don't think it's necessarily a lighthearted comedy. So I come towards it thinking it's going to be a fairy tale, and that's maybe a little bit darker in the end than most Disney films, but I think there's nothing in it that I would say keep your children away from it. Yeah.
Some of the complications that I faced while preparing for the play, I guess just the long, arduous rehearsal times on top of applying to colleges and doing a bunch of homework and not sleeping and things like that. But other than that, the singing. The singing was really hard for me because I'm not a singer.
The time and effort we all put into it really has gone worthwhile. This isn't something you can do this isn't something you can just do in 1 month. Yet we did it in 11 weeks, and we put a lot of time into it for sure, and turned out really well. Yeah.
Well, with any good performance, there's always some complications. This time around, we thought we were going to do Chicago, and we'd started casting some of the leading roles for that, and then we found out that they were suspending all of the rights to be able to perform it, so then we had to switch tunes. And so that was definitely one of those big challenges because as of June, we thought we were still doing Chicago. So things had to come a little bit quicker, and all of us on the adult side of things just had to kind of get our brains wrapped around this show and what we wanted to do to make this show special with a little less time than we normally have to marinate on it. I think probably one of my favorite songs, if I can say it that way, is It Takes Two, which is The Baker and His Wife, so Maria and Slahatin. And I really like that song because despite the fact that musically it's quite difficult, it's actually a really fun song to watch because they do emote a fair amount of their personalities in it, and you really get a chance to see the characters, and it's one of my favorite songs.
A segment of Debunking of Fairy Tales by Daniel, Tyler, and Neil.
Yo, Pierre, you want to come out here?
Alright, boom. So basically, we are going to be looking at some fairy tales and then debunking them. So first we got Cinderella, and then we got Romeo and Juliet. So Cinderella, basically, it's about a cleaning slave, Cinderella, who is a cleaning slave for her stepsisters and mom, and then she gets a fairy godmother, goes to the ball, finds a prince, her glass slipper slips off, and then the prince has to put the shoe on every single girl to find out who Cinderella is. Now we're going to be taking a look at what is wrong with Cinderella. Alright, first thing, when she wished for the glass slipper, it was a perfect fit, yet it fell off somehow. Second, the prince says that Cinderella is the love of his life, and then he completely forgets what she looks like, and then he has to fit a shoe on every single girl to find her. And then problem 3 is that, seriously, how does no one in the entire kingdom have the same shoe size? Seriously. Alright, next we're going to be looking at
ACS Today. Oh man, this is so sick. What are you guys talking about?
Fairy tales and what's wrong with them.
Oh yeah, dude, have you heard about Sleeping Beauty, man? That was messed up. She fell asleep in a forest, and then a king came, and then he did the doodly, and she was asleep, and then she woke up because she had a kid, and then the kid died. And yeah, that's Sleeping Beauty. That's messed up.
Yeah.
This is a good
All right.
show.
Yeah, it can be. All right, enjoy.
Can you like blur out my face and
Oh, yeah.
distort my voice?
Yeah, okay, I'll do that. I'll do that. Don't worry.
Thank you, sir.
All right.
I can't have people knowing that I did the doodly, you know. Christian server, you know.
All right. Cheers. ACS Today. Alright, so next we've got Romeo and Juliet. Now basically, this plot is about two families, the Montagues and the Capulets, and they don't get along. Romeo Montague falls in love with Juliet Capulet over one night. They get married, they sneak off. Juliet fakes her death without Romeo knowing. Romeo then kills himself, and then Juliet also actually kills herself that time. So it's a typical Shakespeare tragedy where everyone dies. So basically, what's wrong with this? So I don't even need to explain, it's kind of self-explanatory, but it's like you meet in one day and then like the next day you get married. Like, boy. And then next is Juliet is like 13, 14, something like that. Romeo is like 18. That's like an adult dating a
Lastly, here are some fairy tale puns by Harjas and Taha.
Why are ogres like onions? They have layers. Hell no. No. One more. This is, oh my god. Who made those? Why are the wicked witches always mixed up? Because it's hard to tell which witch is which.
Why did the chicken lay golden eggs?
Because they were too fragile to drop?
Question mark. It's not good, guys. It's really bad.
And for those of you that don't understand the joke, coach is what they used to call the transportation at the time, like the carriage, the coach. And that in the movie, it's a movie, I believe, or the short story, Cinderella actually is basically a house slave at this point with her family, and she wants to go to the royal ball, but she can't go because she obviously doesn't have the clothes or the dress at that time, that she would be mocked and laughed out of the event. So fortunately, she had her magic fairy godmother or godmother something, who came around and blessed her and made her mice some horse to carry her pumpkin carriage, which was originally a small pumpkin, but then she made into a coach. And that's why Cinderella is a lousy baseball player, because her...
Why is there always a conversation going on in Jack's garden? Because Jack and the beans talk. What the heck? Okay.
Do giants eat Englishmen with their fingers? No, they eat their fingers separately. That was bad. No, that was bad. Give me another one. Wait, what are these puns? Why does Cinderella suck at sports? Because she always likes running away from the ball.
What does the Wicked Witch like to read?
Her horoscope.
Her horoscope. Yep.
What do you call a shirt that is sold at a very good price?
What?
Some pretty fair retail.
I'm definitely going to be there to watch the play on November 8th and 9th, and I hope to see you all there.
That was a pretty magical episode full of rich segments, if I do say so myself.
Anyways, that's it for our episode today. We'll see you next time on
ACS Today.
But wait, there's more.
Welcome to the Bobosin Show.